Oh,
Evening, everybody.
another another Sunday. We are back.
I know. Doesn't seem 2 minutes since it was last Sunday when we did QVC Partworks.
Yeah, and with our help, Wayne was able to shift all the models. I think he said they sold them all within an hour.
Yeah, it was that quick.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
been crazy. Well, for you, Kev, it's been wow. For me,
yeah.
Actually, I've got something to show after. So I said, somebody I would do it tonight. So I'll show you after. But yeah, the big news is the trial of the Dalek.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing. Yeah, there's nothing else to say about it. Just come out straight out of the blue as well. Normally, it appears on the national files, which is like connected to newsagents and anyone that does magazines. You can go on it. It's a free site. Anyone can go on national files, and I always check it a couple of times a week just to see what's on there. The Dalek wasn't on there at all. It's still actually not on there, which is strange because they always come up. There's a section on it that says Partworks, and then you can click on tests.
Yeah,
it's normally on there. The last test that was on there was a Warhammer one, Combat Patrol, that they tested, and that was it. That's the last thing that's on there. The Dalek still hasn't appeared on there, so that's how no one knew it was coming until we all found out.
Yeah, we were just saying before the show that's some MI5 stuff going on at Harsh.
Yeah,
it's that one.
Yeah, well, it's not the first time they've done something like that. They done the Star. I think it was the Gran Torino. They did the same thing. I think they tested it, and we all found out about it like just at the last issues. The same thing with the King Tiger tank as well that they previewed over here. We all found out about it when issue 4 was in the newsagents on a test. So it's not the first time that they've sort of stealthily done something. We've not found out about it. Luckily, in the Doctor Who community and the Dalek community are quite large. So it was going to come out eventually. But I'm very, very looking much forward to this. This is up my street.
I think people have been calling for it for a long time, haven't they?
Yeah, I reached out and tried to find out because I know Eagle Moss was working on one, and what I found out is it's similar to what Eagle Moss was going to produce. So I've got a funny feeling this is what Eagle Moss was doing. The company, obviously, the manufacturer that was doing it has probably gone to somewhere else, Hachette, and they've taken it on. Eagle Moss was also. It's really weird because Eagle Moss was planning to do that. They were also planning to do a NASCAR, which was on show at the Nuremberg Toy Fair. If you remember, they showed off a lot of cars. There was a NASCAR there. That was one that was going to be done for Eagle Moss. So all these ones that Eagle Moss had planned to come out seem to be slowly coming out.
Well, I think if something's heavily invested in, then it's gonna come out. Yeah,
it was like I said, it's just a complete surprise. It to be fair, I thought it was something that Fan Home might have done because they have been very heavily involved with Eagle Moss as well as pop culture stuff. So I was very surprised that got picked up by them. But I can't see it not coming out. It's like the Batman 89. It's a no-brainer. No-brainer.
Right. Well, what we'll do is we'll go over to the temporary website because this is a trial. We've got to remember this is a trial.
Yep, and no doubt I think it's 140 issues to complete.
Yeah.
I personally can see that number going up.
Right.
Because they've done that before on a few builds. They've upped the number. I think the test build for the Tumblr was only 100 issues, and now it's 120. So
yeah,
I can see it going up. But as you can see here, it's got all the bells and whistles on it. The thing that makes it really interesting is that it can open up, and you've got the mutant Dalek inside it. I never even thought about that in a million years that they'd be able to do that. But yeah, it moves around a bit like R2. It's remote control. It's got interchangeable arms. It's like I said, it's got all the bells and whistles on it.
Yeah.
It's definitely a yes for me. Also, if you go along, Mark, those issues, you go look at issue 3. Now, issue 3 there, can you see it's got a dome?
Yeah.
That's the top part of the Dalek. Now, that reminds me of R2-D2.
Yes.
It's got the open panels, and you put the panels on. Obviously, the eye stalk and the lights will go on there and stuff like that. But that part there and then part 4 look very similar to what we got with R2-D2.
Yes.
And that part as well, by the way, this is a test build. That part is going to be huge. That part is going to be big. So to produce that as a test build, yeah, it's quite mega.
Yeah, the first issue looks like the whatever is on its head.
It's the eye. It's the start of the iris. It's the eye stalk thing, and then you've got issue 2 is the part where the eye stalk goes on.
Right.
Issue 3 is the dome, and then issue 4 is one of the lights and a panel for it.
Right.
So yeah, if you do all of these issues, you'll have the eye stalk completely built.
Yeah.
And then one of the lights as well. But yeah.
So in the magazines, you've got
all about Doctor Who, all about the Daleks, how they designed.
Yeah. So
yeah, it looks like you've got like in-universe information as well as design. So how they designed the Daleks and stuff, and when they appeared.
Yeah. Quite a bit then. I would play the thing, but we might get copyrighted, so I don't want to risk that.
Yeah, it's like I said, the thing that struck me was the sort of little things. So the eye there, it has a shutter on it. So on the series, it sort of closes and opens, a bit like on a camera.
Yeah.
It's got that effect as well. But the thing that really struck me was it opening up to show the mutant inside.
Yeah.
Because I thought they could just produce a Dalek and it would be, remote control and it would turn on and it'd be huge. I didn't even think for a second that you could do it where it would open up and you could see the mutant inside. I mean, It looks really good. Something I wouldn't have thought of them doing, but I'm all over this. This is right up my alley.
Yeah.
1:2 scale as well, so it's going to be similar. It's going to be similar height to the Terminator.
82 centimeters tall.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit smaller than our Terminator, but the same sort of size, if you know what I mean. It's going to be sort of 1:2 scale. Daleks are very short. I think they're about 5 foot in real life.
Right.
So yeah, you're going to be looking at sort of half of that scale, obviously. But it's going to be fairly big.
Free
no
gigs. These can change though, can't they? So
yes, yeah. The free issue and the binder, they won't change. You normally get them. They normally throw them in. A key ring is pretty standard now, I think.
Yeah. We'll get a mug.
You get a TARDIS mug, which is quite good.
They might change though. They might throw in some more. You just never know.
Yeah, they do tend to put a few extra bits in there. You normally get, I mean, it's only showing, 3 gifts there?
Yeah.
Normally you get 5. Normally it's like 5 or 6 you get, depending. Yeah.
So fantastic. So that is Hachette UK.
Yes.
Now, we don't know if this, because obviously Doctor Who is a British television programme. I don't know whether it's going to be available in other territories, but if it's not, you can always fall backwards onto Partwork distribution.
Yeah. It all comes down to licensing, obviously, and obviously Agora didn't get the license for the for the Tumblr. That's why they've not released it. So it all comes down to licensing. If Agora can get the license, then obviously you can get it from Agora in the US.
Yeah.
But if not, then like you're saying, there is Partwork distributions on hand. So
that's if you want that.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so I've got my bit that I'm going to cover.
Yeah.
Which I said I'd do for somebody, and it's obviously Ian. So remember last weekend we were talking about the power supply for the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
So Ian sent me a message saying, can you send me some details of the battery box? So I sent him all the details. I said, well, there's really no need to replace the battery box because it's already got a power supply inside the Falcon. Which, to tell you the truth, I'd forgotten where it was.
I think it's near the loading ramp.
Yeah, it's got, yeah.
Got a cover on it.
It's near there, right.
Yeah, so, it's near that bit, but it's got like a little plastic cover over it.
Well, after many, about 10 minutes of searching for it, because I couldn't find it, was well hidden. I finally found it. I forgot where it was. So I sent the pictures to Ian, and Ian came through. So here we go. So there we go. It's the 132 Millennium Falcon power adapter. Now I had a bit of a mare with the scale of the Millennium Falcon because if you look on Fan Home and if you look on previous posts when it came out, it says it was a 1-1 scale. Now I wish we built a Millennium Falcon 1-1 scale.
That was a little bit weird because I think the 1-1 scale was 1-1 to the studio model.
Correct, yeah. So it's a 1-1 scale based on the studio model.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Now compared it to the actual size of what the Millennium Falcon would have been, it's 132 scale. Yeah. So that took some finding out to work out how done it. But Ian's done it. He's come through. So what I'm going to say is there we have it. And I can confirm. So that's where the power supply goes into on your Millennium Falcon. That took some finding. That tape's just to hold the rubber thing that protected it. Yeah,
the little black rubber bit that holds it in. Yeah.
And then there we go. It actually does work. You'll have to forgive my Millennium Falcon. It does need a bit of work doing to it. It got, obviously, some bits broke on it on the move and everything, and I need to, clean it.
Yeah.
But it works. The lights work, everything works, and the ramp works as well off this power mod.
Right.
So it does work. I can confirm that. I received it yesterday, plugged it all in and everything is running perfectly on it. So, Ian, if you want to put the link for it in the chat, you're more than welcome to. But finally, we have a power adapter for the Millennium Falcon.
Nice.
No more batteries. Or, tell you the truth, the battery box is so hard to get to. I mean, for that, I even forgot where the battery box was.
It's in the nose carrier bit in the middle. You have to sort of pull that off, don't you? Yes, in that
bit there. But the problem is, you have to take that off.
Yes.
And then what you have to do is you have to take out 4 screws.
To get it out.
You can pull the panel out that the battery box is in, then take that out and change. Well, that's just a nightmare. So we do have a power adapter for the Millennium Falcon where you don't have to do that. I didn't even know if the circuit board would recognize that there was an external power supply going in. It worked perfectly. And that is, 9 years, maybe more after it was built. Yeah,
plug and play. That's what you need. And it's worked perfectly. Yeah.
That came out in 2015, I believe. So the Falcon started, and that's working 9 years later.
Good.
So the circuit board still runs. What can I say?
Right.
They don't build them like they used to.
No.
So, Ian, if you want to put the links in for that, go ahead because I'm well impressed.
Yeah.
And,
does the adapter light up as well?
Yes, it does. It actually, I'll show you. Hang on.
It lights up blue, doesn't it?
This part, it lights up blue.
Nice.
It's literally just plug and play.
Yeah.
Absolutely just plug and play. You plug it into the Falcon and use your remote. Even the remote, I have never had to change the batteries in that remote for the Falcon either.
I know. I don't know what they did over the years, but they changed it so they just drain.
Yeah. Well, that is the most simplest remote ever. I've actually got it because I dug it out and I was like, right, I'm going to keep these on standby so I can hook it up. But if I just come back, never changed the battery in this, and it still works.
Yeah.
9 years, well, I'd say what, 7 or 8 years later after I finished it. So yeah,
good.
It does still works with an original battery.
Nice.
So yeah, head over to Partwork Upgrades, and yeah, you can get the power.
Yeah, get yourself over the Partwork Upgrades, guys, and if you've got the Millennium Falcon, get it, because I don't think you're supplied the power mains like that through Fan Home.
No, I don't know if they are going to supply it. For us to get it when we originally got it, we had to pay an extra charge for the power supply. So
they also sold the weathering kit as well for it separate.
Yes,
if I remember rightly, there was a few extra bits they did right at the end of the build. One of them was the power adapter and the weathering kit.
Yeah. So I plugged it in, pressed the button, it worked. I was like, whoa. Brilliant. Totally works perfectly. So yeah, you don't have to go for that horrible battery box. Plus the fact most of the time the batteries run down in them anyway. Yeah.
I think they go into like they drain because I think it goes into like a standby mode. So it's still like the batteries are being drained still, if you know what I mean.
To tell you the truth, I was stupid enough to leave batteries in there when I first built it. Nobody ever switched it on a few times. And then they leaked, so I had to take the battery box out. I had to clean all the battery box, got that working again. That was fine. And then never put batteries back in it because I kept forgetting to put it on. So now I can plug that in. Well, hey, I'm happy. So just need to do a bit more work on the Falcon and just clean it and put bits back on it and whatever. But yeah, unfortunately, when I built it, I didn't use very good super glue. I used the modeller's glue when I should have used super glue, really. But
yeah.
You live and learn. So that was my first ever proper part work. So I lived and learned a lot since then.
Yeah. There's also something else I want to bring up as well that has appeared, and that is for people in the US, they're able to log their interest into the well, I would say Mad Max, but it's the Interceptor.
The Falcon?
The Ford Falcon Interceptor is now up. The website for the USA is up, but it's got it's just the main page with leaving your email for interest. Do you remember Eagle Moss used to do it all the time?
Yes.
Where they used to just have a page up when you just put your email address to show your interest in it. Well, that page is now up in the USA. So if you'd like that, that tells me that Agora have the license to distribute that, because Hachette don't have a US arm. Well, the US arm is Agora. So it shows me that Agora have got that. It also tells you as well that it must be coming out soon, because if they've already done that already, that's interesting. The other interesting thing with that is will it be called the Mad Max Interceptor by the time it's released, or will they just? Because I don't know how they would do the magazine without it.
There was a trial for that in the UK, wasn't
there? There was, yeah.
They were looking at it, and they couldn't call it the Mad Max car. They had to call it the Ford Falcon
Interceptor. Yeah.
Yeah, because of licensing and stuff. So
yeah,
maybe they required it for the US and just couldn't get it for the UK.
Maybe, I don't know. But it's a positive thing if that's the sort of car you want to build. It's not for me, but I know that lots of people would like it. So I think it's going to be quite popular. But it's really interesting that site's gone up. We've had a test in the UK. I'm wondering if the test in the UK has done quite well. And then they've gone, oh, okay, we'll see what the interest is like in the US, and we'll go from there. Or maybe it hasn't done very well here, and they've gone, well, let's see somewhere else, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's like everything into it. You mean you've got your British classics that come out in this country that maybe not do as well in the US than they do in the UK.
Yeah.
But then you might have things that come out in the US that will do more better than the UK. So
yeah, it's interesting is I don't think Hachette deliver to. Oh well, no, I think Agora do deliver to Australia because I was thinking because obviously Mad Max was obviously done in Australia, New Zealand, and that. I was thinking it'll be quite a good thing to have there. But I think but saying that, I think Agora do deliver there, so I think you're safe.
Yeah, well,
because I know Fan Home don't. So,
well, at least with things are coming out, and yeah, see what happens.
Yeah. Also, I think we haven't heard anything new coming out from Fan Home.
No.
For a while, so that suggests to me that we are probably going to get a lot of builds towards the end of the year.
It seems Fan Home at the moment, could be wrong, that they are concentrating on doing a lot of relaunches.
Yeah, I think also as well they've got some. I think they've got some new builds to come. They must have because they they were pushing out quite a lot, and I would imagine there's a few bits coming out. I don't know, but I've got a funny feeling with the delays in shipping, maybe they've pushed the dates for new builds up further, so they get enough stock,
possible,
so they don't have a problem down the line.
Yeah, but I would just wish they'd sort out their current builds they're sending people. And
I can see. I see on the Facebook group actually a lot of people saying there's things in shipping. You got this a lot with a lot of the other builds as well, especially around COVID and that, when they were going through extra checks, and when the UK left the EU as well, went for extra checks, so things were taking longer. I will always say you will get your builds. You're only charged for when they're ready to ship out.
Yeah,
you're not charging any extra. And this stuff is, if you are charged and it has sort of been posted, if you don't receive something within 28 days, straight on the old phone or email and get it sorted. But yeah, you don't pay for another pack if the first pack hasn't been sent out. So, I would take it as a bit of a break and then put that money towards another build maybe or something else. But yeah, it's like we said last week, it's not a sprint. It's this is a marathon.
Yeah.
Take your time. Don't worry. You will finish your builds. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
But I do find that there's a lot of impatientness on the Partwork groups.
Yeah.
I understand some of it because you want to get these builds built and done and out the way and building other ones. So I understand the frustration. But on the other hand, just be a little bit more patient because you will build these and just takes a bit of time.
Yeah. Okay, right. We'll go through some of the chat, which is crazy as always, but that's good. Keeps us talking.
For
half an hour.
We'll
so first thing this evening, we got Spider Sprue saying, "Hello, Mark and Kev. How are you doing? Got a great birthday present last week. My daughter got me a photo shoot with the one and only Jonathan
Frakes.
Yeah,
Frakes. Yeah. Riker.
Yeah, I thought it was
Riker from Star Trek.
Yeah.
Cool.
I've actually, while building, because I've been building the Enterprise, sometimes to get me in the mood for things, I'll put on something related to it. And Tonight I watched Wrath of Khan, which I watched.
Right.
And then I watched The Search for Spock after, which wasn't as good, but
Yeah. The worst one for me. There's two worst Star Trek films for me, and that is The Final Frontier. That's 5, Star Trek 5. That was awful. And Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
No, the first one.
The first one.
Yeah.
They were just. I think it was just because of its timing. I think it was done. I think the motion picture was done in the 70s.
Yeah.
Very 70s style and look of it. But yeah.
I had a friend at school that said Generations was the worst one because they crashed the Enterprise D.
No.
And he was gutted. He was crying coming out the cinema that they'd crashed the Enterprise D, and that was it. No more Enterprise D. And I actually messaged him about a year ago saying, well, you've only had to wait how many years and it came back?
Yeah. It came back.
I said, it wasn't that bad. Right,
No.
It was devastating at the time, but it didn't take long for it to come back.
No, it did. Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Oh, come on. That's been out nearly a year. If people don't know by now, there's that many clips on YouTube and Facebook.
Yeah.
Especially what Star Wars fans got and what Star Trek fans got. Star Trek fans got it all. Star Wars fans don't even go there.
Well, I didn't mind the newer films. I thought they were quite good. I've seen. Let's put it this way: I've seen worse films.
I still haven't watched The Last Jedi all the way through because I keep falling asleep while watching it. So The Force Awakens I thought was quite good because it really went back to
the Force Awakens for me was just a retelling of the original one. Yeah, a sort of salvager finds a robot, goes off an adventure, and finds out she's got.
The Last Jedi, like I said, I haven't seen all the way through because I fell asleep. Keep falling asleep. And The Force Awakens, what? We just seen Disney World that likes
No, that was
that don't
the Skywalker. Skywalker.
The Rise of Skywalker, yeah.
The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, that made no sense at all. That now
it was. It's interesting because I think they've tried to branch it off. We're talking about Star Wars here. I think they've tried to sort of branch off to make more films out of it, if you know what I mean.
Well, I know, but it was just like this was like Star Wars meets Marvel, like nobody's ever dead.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, like I said, there are films in Marvel that are bad and Star Wars that are bad, but I don't think, like in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it was ultimately really bad.
No.
So.
Yeah.
Don't worry, because I'm old enough to remember all the heat the prequel films got. Because I remember people hated the Phantom Menace, and people hated the Clone Wars because it was all politics. And now they're loved. They're absolutely loved, and they go through this sort of circle.
I didn't mind the prequels. I thought they were quite. I thought they were. I mean, better than the latest three, but I didn't mind the prequels. I can understand the Phantom Menace was quite political, and nobody could understand what the heck.
I mean, you got to think of all the hate that they got with Jar Jar, to the point where the actor who played him nearly committed suicide. Actually, stepped away from films because of that role. And they were like the fan backlash for that film was so bad they actually removed Jar Jar from the rest of the series.
Yeah.
And I just remember they said the Clone Wars was too political because it was about them changing things and it was all in the Senate and stuff like that. But yeah, now people love it and it goes through this because I remember with Star Trek, everyone hated Star Trek Enterprise when it came out. Why would you do a series before Kirk? And it got cancelled because of that. And now people are sort of rewatching it and going, actually, it's actually quite a good series. It's really good.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering whether the Star Wars, we're going to have this similar thing with the Star Wars as well. Is that a couple of years' time, people will go, actually, it weren't too bad. I've heard lately, a friend of mine, he was actually saying that the Crystal Skull, do you remember how hated Ian Downey Jones' The Crystal Skull was when it first came out? Aliens and everyone hated it, but actually lots of people now turn around going, it's not that bad, actually it's quite good.
No, I still don't like it. I still think it's weird.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got Alex saying, good evening all, sorry I was not on the stream last week, lurking. I watched back. Ari Nemesis Kev was planning to go for open day, but couldn't get tickets for annual pass and disable access for Dean. So
right, okay, yeah, because Nemesis Reborn has reopened. It's been a big thing as well. So, and I know that he went on the ride the last time.
Yeah.
For the last ride. So, yeah, I was wondering if he was going back.
Holic says, glad we didn't go, though, with the queues. It also had issues with a rattle on the back. So last I saw, B&M, I'm not too sure what B&M are, on the scene, looking into it, currently only sending front half of train out with riders.
Right, okay.
Then Holic says, going to Thorpe Park next weekend, so will be my first look at the towering Hyperia.
Yeah, that's their new ride. Yeah.
We've got D Harrison saying a very good evening, Mark and Kev. Evening, D.
Hi, D.
We've got Burgess in saying evening all. Evening, Burgess. How are you?
Hi, Burgess.
We've got Dave Mark Bills in says good evening, Mark and Kev. Have a great stream tonight. So thank you,
Hi, Dave.
Hi, Dave. We've got David Phillips in saying evening, ladies and gents. So evening, David.
Hi, David.
We've got Scott Duggan in saying evening all. Hope you've all had a good cold weekend. Yeah, it's not been bad.
Yeah, the sun was out yesterday, but it was bitter yesterday. It's actually been quite a nice day here. I was surprised because it's normally raining. It's always raining.
Freezing here, I'm telling you. Oh.
Yesterday it was the sun was out, but it was bitter. I don't know why it was so cold. Today's been quite pleasant. I've been surprised.
Roll on lighter nights next weekend.
Next weekend, yeah, Sunday, yeah.
Yeah. We've got Stephen Belcher in saying hi, Mark and Kev. Evening, Stephen.
Hi, Stephen.
We've got Terry Martin in saying evening all. Evening, Terry.
Hi, Terry.
We've got Ian Campbell in saying a very good evening all. Evening, Ian.
Hi, Ian.
And we've got Andy Carroll saying hi, guys. Hi, Andy.
Hi, Andy.
No, see. We've got Kenneth in saying afternoon from Atlanta, Georgia. I can't wait to sit here and watch my most incredible and amazing people. I saw the new Ghostbusters movie yesterday for free at home.
Lucky.
Yeah.
Nice.
I haven't seen that yet.
No, I'm going this week, I think. I've got some free tickets from Sky, so I'm going to use them.
Why not? Terry Martin says, I turn live chat off during the broadcast, so if I don't reply, it's nothing personal, everyone. No problem, Terry.
No, don't worry, mate. No.
Ian Campbell says, these Sundays come round so quick. They do.
They do, yeah. Yeah, really quick.
We've got Kenneth says, Mark and Kev are incredible and super genius and master model builder. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know about that, no.
Neil Radcliffe says, good evening, Mark and Kev and all the gang. So evening, Neil. Welcome to the stream.
Hi, Neil.
Mad Dog Hobby says, congrats, Kev, on 1 million views on YouTube.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, I randomly checked it and it come up and I was like, what? 1 million? I was like, no, crazy. Yeah. Absolutely crazy.
Ian Campbell says, sold in 1 to 2 hours was awesome. Next time we'll have you guys do a live auction. So that's okay.
Yeah, we're here. That'd be great.
Yeah, we'll be up for that.
Yeah.
We've got Dan Crimmins saying, hi all, here's to another great show. Thank you, Dan.
Cheers, Dan.
Burgess says, the Trial of the Dalek sounds like a Doctor Who episode or a courtroom TV episode.
I'm pretty sure there is a Doctor Who episode called that.
Right.
I'm pretty sure.
There would be, wouldn't there?
Yeah. Yeah.
We've got Marvel Phoenix in, Todd, saying hello and good evening all. Evening, Todd.
Hi, Todd.
Kenneth says, how much 65mm in inch? I want to make sure that I'm cutting the wooden strips on my Flying Dutchman ship. I've not got a clue.
No, 65. Hang on, I've got a ruler here. So, was it 65 millimeters? I don't know. What would it be?
About
6.5 centimeters?
Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it is. It's 6.5 centimeters. That's what I think it is.
I don't know. We've got Steve131 says evening all. So evening, Steve. Welcome.
Hi, Steve.
And we've got Alex Builds. Hi, Mark.
Hi, Alex.
Hey, everyone. Hi, Alex. Welcome back.
Welcome back, mate.
Yeah. Ian Campbell says Dalek is a given.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ian says Johnny 5 would be too.
Yes. Yeah. I don't want them both at the same time. Space them out a bit.
I said to Kev, before the live stream, I said, if some people are wanting a different generation of Dalek, then there is possibility for mods out there.
Oh, there's huge amount, even for that Dalek. So you've got the black version that they did, Dalek Sec. I'm such a geek, right? So I know all their names. Then they did one that was the top was exploded off. That was Dalek Khan. Then they did the Iron Side Daleks, which were in army green and had British emblems on them and stuff like that. There's loads of potential out there to mod the hell out of it.
I have no idea at all. We've got Scott Duggan in saying Dalek is a big yes from me.
Yeah.
Burgess says, to be honest, I didn't even know it had a creature inside. I guess I need to watch more episodes.
Yeah, that actually, the Dalek is the little creature. So if do a quick rundown of what a Dalek is. So Daleks were they were called something else. There was a war, a nuclear war, and Davros came along and said he wanted to save his species because they were mutating, and he put the mutating parts inside a metal shell, which is the Dalek. So actually, the Dalek itself is the mutant inside. And he said he was going to save his people, and he basically turned them into these. That's why they always betray the Davros, the creator of the Daleks, because they don't trust him.
Right.
Yeah.
We've got Go For It painting in saying hello. So hi, Go For It.
Hi, Go For It.
We've got Helder Comanche in saying hi, Mark and Kev and all. So hi, Helder. Welcome to the stream. Ian saying thank you, obviously, for the showing of the power mod for the Millennium Falcon.
Yep.
And actually, Spider Sprue says, nice work, Ian.
Yeah.
Ian says, not sure if Link shows might need to be a mod. It's not come up, but I know you're a mod of mine, Ian, so...
I'm sure you're a mod on mine as well. If you're not, I'll make you one.
No, he's definitely a mod on mine. So, we've got Kevin and Marion saying hi, Kev and Mark and all. So
hi, Kevin and Mary.
To the show. And Todd says Agora pretty much ships everywhere.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because I weren't too sure, but I'm pretty, like I said, I'm pretty sure they ship everywhere, Agora. So
yeah,
if they do get the license for it from Hachette, you're golden.
Okay. Ian Campbell says Partwork distribution has been running long enough now that we have customers receiving their final packs for builds, which is awesome.
Cool, nice one.
While I'm there, I can put it in mine, but I don't know about putting in yours, but I will put the link in for the power mod. There we go.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
Right, it's going in chat now. Okay, so just read that one. Todd says, unless their license prohibits competing, such as the UK Titanic.
Yes, yeah, because obviously they have to get a license for every territory they go in, and that takes time, and sometimes they can refuse it for whatever reason.
Yeah. Ian Campbell says, let's get some thumbs up, guys. Yes, please, if you could.
Yeah.
That'd be brilliant. Alex says, I'm not a huge Doctor Who fan, but it looks good. Yeah, I'm the same. My dad used to watch it, and he used to give me nightmares. I mean, I watched quite a lot of stuff in the 80s because nobody cared really about what you watched in the 80s.
No, and all the toys, they had their toys directed at kids for things like Aliens.
Yeah.
Which was 18. RoboCop as well. It's like,
I know.
Okay.
And now, but that was one thing that used to give me nightmares. So, yeah, I stay away from it. We've got Daz Faulkner in saying, how do everyone? Evening, Daz. Welcome to the stream. Will's Workshop says, hi all. I think it's the fear after Eagle Moss. So,
right.
The deliveries we found home.
Yeah. Look, they will turn up. The problem is that everything was running fine, and then they stopped going up the Red Sea. So they've had to go round longer, which is it's caused a nightmare, not just for Fan Home, but for everything else as well. So there's lots of other companies in the same boat, especially for pre-orders. I've noticed on like the toys and stuff like that, and the hot toys and all that sort of stuff, where they've had them in the US, but it's not been released here because they're on a boat that is traveling the long way round.
Yeah. Todd says, the Eagle Mess disaster tainted the Partwork community, and it's going to take a long time to heal from it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I think it's still very raw with people, and it's still in the back of a lot of people's minds because it wasn't. To be fair, it wasn't that long ago.
No.
What was it? 2021, I think it was, or 2020, around that time.
Yeah. What was last year? 2023.
Yeah, 22 was it?
2022, because that's the first year of the Partwork Awards, which you did a tribute to Eagle Moss with.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Sorry, we do this every Sunday. I have a weird memory.
But yeah, I think, like I said, it's still very fresh in people's minds. So I think they fear that that's going to happen again.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Alex Build says, I think the... Oh, I've read that one, haven't I? Oh, no, I haven't read that one.
No, you haven't read that one, no. It's Alex.
I can remember stupid dates on things, but can't remember which is the last comment I read out. He says, I think the Eagle Moss situation still worries people that it could happen to another company, especially when deliveries are delayed. So...
Delays happen all the time with stuff. It's just part of the game. I mean, we've collected, even from Hachette as well, there's been delays. I mean, if you watch my channel, I've just got out the last couple of Disney Dollhouse builds because there was a delay getting them to the newsagents, and then they all sort of came in, and I had to order some as well. So delays happen, even with, like I said, even with Hachette as well, they still happen.
Yeah. Denmark Bill says, I had a great afternoon with my mum and all relatives today. It's my mum's 80th birthday tomorrow. We had a little buffet for her. Wow.
Nice. Well, happy birthday to your mum for tomorrow.
Yeah. Happy birthday for your mum for tomorrow, Dave Max. Send our best wishes. Go for it. Painting says, don't forget to hit the like button.
Is it that one?
Thank you. Ian says, are you a Star Trek or a Star Wars? For me, it's Star Trek all the way.
Yeah. I'm asked this all the time. If I had to pick one, it would be Star Trek. Okay. I was more of a Star Trek fan than Star Wars in terms of that. When I cosplay at like conventions and stuff, I always dress up as Star Trek.
Okay. For me, it's Star Wars.
Yeah. I think that's what you like both, but there was always a line where you sort of went, and mine was always Star Trek. So
yeah, mine was Star Wars, and then I think in my teens, my dad watched the Next Generation in the 90s before he passed away, but then I started to appreciate it in my late teens and stuff like that. I would never say that I know everything about Star Trek because I haven't got a clue where to start.
It's really good, Star Trek, because I think the original series has aged quite badly, but then again, I think shows when that were on, the original 66 Batman series as well, I think they've aged quite badly. But the Next Generation it's even relevant for today. It's just like bizarre. Like this show was done in late 80s.
Yeah.
There's episodes in it that are relevant today. And it's scary how relevant it is still.
Yeah.
For a show that was aired long ago where no one batted an eyelid, it's just so weird how it's all still relevant.
I tell you one thing that got me though is I said I was watching The Wrath of Khan over the weekend. Yeah. And there was a scene in that where they were on about how Kirk beat this simulator.
Yes.
In it. And then I remember watching the recent movies, and it's actually in there. Now I don't even take notice of that scene or anything, but they kind of kept it. They've gone back through it, and you actually see where he actually beats the system because he reprograms it not to lose.
The Kobayashi Maru simulation. Yeah. It's a no-win scenario.
Yeah.
But he beat it, and he sort of there is implications that he cheated.
Yeah. Spider Spruce says Star Trek always. So I'm learning my Star Trek. I'm just not as knowledgeable as quite a few people. Ken Fairclough says Wayne Green has totally blocked out the Crystal Skull film.
It's like I said, I think on a rewatch, I personally didn't think it was a bad film when it came out. I thought it was okay, but everyone said, "Oh no," with aliens and supernatural stuff, and I was thinking, have you seen the rest of the Indiana Jones film? There's a part in it where he Kalima. I mean, you've got to think of that, where he takes someone's heart out.
Okay, I mean, that's Temple of Doom.
Yeah.
Okay. But the other two of the originals were kind of believable. So the Lost Ark, that's kind of believable, and the Last Crusade as well, which is kind of believable. But yeah, they were all a bit. You're talking. This was, it was quite believable.
After Star Wars. I think he done them after Star Wars. So
because the Raiders of the Lost Ark was done just after A New Hope, I think.
Yeah.
And that's why Harrison Ford didn't look like he was going to come back after The Empire Strikes Back, because he'd already made himself a name in the Indiana Jones movies. Hence the protein carbonite.
Yes, and that's why Lando took over the Falcon.
Yeah. But then in Return of the Jedi,
Yeah. It's also why they're obviously talking about Star Trek. The same thing happened with Patrick Stewart as well. And the end of Best of Both Worlds, where he becomes a Borg, obviously Locutus. Yeah. And Riker fires the deflector thing, and it stopped there because they've done lots of interviews since. So because Patrick Stewart hadn't signed a new contract, so they were going to kill him off. The beam would have worked and destroyed the cube, and he would have been killed off. But they didn't go that way, and thank God he stayed on. In my part, but yeah.
Ian Campbell says, I'm waiting to watch Ghostbusters for free too.
How's everyone watching it for free?
I don't know. Dodgy boxes, I think. Steve Winfield says, Kev, do you get an award for $1 million?
I don't know.
No.
My only reward is you guys, I think. So you guys watch.
Helga says 6.5 centimeters.
Yeah, I thought it was 6.5. It's millimeters is like half of the centimeter. It's like
Ian says haha geek, thanks up for the possible mods. Well, it can be done.
Yeah.
Be done.
Have a look online. Just type in Daleks 2005. There's a lot of different ones. Loads that appeared in the series. Loads.
Ken Fairclough says 65 millimeters is near as to 2.5 inches. Right. That's the link in for the Millennium Falcon Power mod. Ian says, fan home shipping, you can only use the extra journey time so much, guys.
Saying it, yeah. Well, I've been told they've got a solution in place to lessen the impact later on. But it's getting there. I'm at the point where stuff turns up. I mean, it took 3 weeks for my Star Trek issue to turn up after paying. I knew there was going to be delays with it anyway because they've mentioned. So it turns up when it turns up in my eyes. I paid for it, it will turn up.
Ian Campbell says, we are only taking a week to complete the extra miles, but we have a month or more delay.
Yeah, you got to think it's got it goes around, which is longer, obviously, and then they have to then book in everything as well.
Yeah.
And I know it takes a while to unload and then book it all in. Then once it's off the ship and booked in, it then has to be sorted, go off to a distribution centre, and then get all scanned in. There's a lot of mechanisms involved.
Spider's Proof says, Doctor Who scared my daughter with the 2005 reboot. She was scared of the mannequins. Oops.
Yes, the very first episode. Yeah.
Dave McBill says, thank you, Mark and Kev. I will tell her. No problem.
No problem.
Spider's Proof says, I received my pack 11 of the Gauntlet almost 2 months from pack 10. I wasn't worried because they told you what was happening.
Yeah, they're hands down, they're normally really good at letting everyone know if there's delays. And Ian
says, Kirk beat by not doing anything, LOL. Steve131 says, I remember DS9 used tablets.
Yeah.
Is that Deep Space Nine?
Yes.
Right. I could never get my hand around Deep Space Nine.
A lot of people didn't. That's another show where a lot of people didn't get it first time, but now say, if you look on the forums and talk to people, some people say Deep Space Nine is the best Trek series ever done.
I couldn't get my hand around it.
It's once again, it's so relevant to what's happening now and stuff. But yeah, I loved it. Yeah. Also, you got to realise, the iPad.
Yeah.
Well, then when Steve Jobs unveiled it first, it was based on the Star Trek pads in the show.
Right.
That's why it looks like it does, because that's how they look like in Star Trek.
Right. Never knew that.
Yeah.
I just couldn't get my head around it with DS9. I got Generation, I got the original Star Trek, I got even Voyager, but I could just never get my head around what DS9 was about. So, Ian says, sorry, not convinced with shipping delays. Yeah,
it's I don't know what really goes on behind the scenes. We're just told what's going on, pass the information on. But yeah, there has been delays on some of my collections, but not all of them. There has been some, but to be fair, the delays that we've had have been a couple of weeks later, 3, 4, maybe months later. But they have turned up, so
yeah. Ian Campbell says DS9 never got it. Sorry. Well, there's only ever a couple of DS9s I watched.
Yeah.
And that was when they were spinning off into other shows. So the first ever episode of Voyager, that set off from DS9.
Yeah.
So I remember.
And there was one Next Gen as well. Next Gen visited DS9 as well. But no, DS9 was a good show as well. I remember watching it. And obviously they introduced Worf into DS9 from season 4. Season 3 for me is probably one of the best seasons. It's where they introduced the Defiant from season 3.
Yeah, I like the Defiant because I thought that was a cool little.
Season one and 2 were mainly based on sort of terrorists and religion and stuff like that. That's why it's really relevant. So the first season was about Bajor and about the religion and God and what it does and why people don't want to be called it. Season 2 was based on the Maquis, if anyone remembers them, the terrorist group, the Maquis. No. So they did appear in Voyager because they have Maquis crew members, and they do appear on Next Gen as well. Ro Laren obviously goes off and joins them, and yeah, it's really interesting, the whole dynamic. And then obviously from season 3 they introduced the Dominion and the Defiant, and yeah, Defiant kicks ass.
Mad Dad Hobby says, what about Space 1999?
No, I never got into that. Never.
No.
Space Odyssey as well. Never really got into that.
Babylon 5?
Yeah, never really got. Someone said, oh, try and watch Babylon 5. And I don't know why, I just couldn't get into it.
Stargate?
I got into the first couple of series. I mean, it went on for 11, I think it was 11 or 12 seasons. So it went really well. And they've done what? Stargate Atlantis, Stargate Universe, I think they did as well. They did like 3 or 4 different spin-offs as well. but I never could really get into it. But then again, I didn't really rate the film.
No, that was the one with Kirk Douglas, wasn't
Right,
it?
Kurt Russell in it, yeah, and
Russell,
yeah, it was all a bit weird then as well, if you know what I mean. I think if you like it, you like it. You know what I mean? If you find something, I mean, I like the Outer Limits, but I don't, and the X-Files and things like that.
I remember watching the X-Files.
The X-Files is really good.
Yeah. Ian Campbell says, great stream, chaps. Thanks, Ian.
Cheers, Ian.
Burgess says, I just hope Ian doesn't blame watching F1 for Partwork distribution delays. Ken Fairclough says, what about UFO?
No, I remember I didn't watch UFO, but I did watch a series called V. Do you remember V?
No.
It was where there were like lizards underneath. They were posing as humans and they were lizards. I also remember watching something called Alien Nation. Do you remember that?
I heard of that, but I never watched it.
It was weird. It was quite a good concept, really. It was where aliens had come to Earth and they were working together. It was a cop show. One of them was human. One of them was an alien. I think that was Alien. I'm pretty sure it's called Alien Nation. Then you had space. I remember the Space Precinct as well.
No,
there was a couple of numbers there, 2049 or something like that. It was called Space Precinct. That was another cop alien series that they did.
Right. Helga says, good night, everyone. So, night, Helga.
Good night, Helga.
And I'm caught up on chat.
Oh.
Just coming up to the hour now, which is great.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that happened last week as well, actually.
Yeah, just timed it right.
Yeah. I suppose we can talk about what's coming up on our channels. What you got coming up, Mark?
Right. So things are going back to the normal schedule next week. I've got more Enterprise to do, so I'm on with that at the moment. And then once that catches up, I'll be starting on the U96.
Right.
So,
I see you getting on with the Lancaster as well.
Yeah, that's now on the weekly schedule. So that's all caught up with. Everything's caught up with apart from the Enterprise D. And then as the builds get posted and shipped in, I can put them where they should be on a weekly schedule.
Yeah, like with the delays in shipping and stuff, and I don't know when I've not got a schedule, so there will be a video sort of every day, but I don't know.
I've got a schedule for everything.
Yeah, I've got it's going to be I'm going to claim this week Enterprise week because Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday we're doing issues from issue 12. Saturday I'm doing the Enterprise D puzzle piece, and then we've got obviously the Batmobile, the Tumbler, and the Doll's House. They'll be up as normal. And I'm waiting for Optimus Prime and the 66 Batmobile. So when they turn up, they might get shifted in there as well at some point. Put them out there. So
okay,
I might leave them until next week.
Right. Well, I'm going to go to Brand and get his outro going, ready to go. This time I'm organised because I wasn't organised before, which is unlike me. So yeah, been another fantastic show, guys. Thank you for watching. Please check out the Harshep website for the
Dalek. Yeah, it's just a test build. Always sign up because you will get signed. Sometimes people get sent stuff.
Yeah. And also, please check out Partwork upgrades for the new Millennium Falcon power adapter, which is super. And thank you for Ian for doing that for us, for the community. That is amazing. So, plains me to say, I've been Mark.
I've been Kev.
And we'll catch you on the next one, guys. Bye.
Later.